So imagine this. You're with a group of friends, and you want to go explore a cave. Now, this is your first time exploring caves, and you're not really sure what's going to happen. So you take your friends. One of them is named Bob. He's a big fat guy, very jolly. He carries sandwiches around a lot in order to provide for his friends and his family and himself if he gets stuck underneath a tree like he did last year during the boating expedition. You remember that, don't you? Well, if you don't, it's not important because Susie, yes, Susie, she remembers all the time. She's the 6'2" bitch who writes everything down in her diary as it. I know you don't like her very much, but just put up with it. Put up with it because in the end, you can't replace the tall ones. I mean, honestly, the tallest person in your group otherwise is like 5'11", and how in hell are you supposed to reach on top of vending machines if you don't have a 6'2" bitch? I don't know. Don't talk to me. Talk to Jared. He's the skinny guy, smokes a lot of weed. He's like the spiritual one. He's the one that you want to talk to if you want to get closer to God, closer to Jesus, closer to yourself, closer to nature. Okay? If you want to eat some little berries in the cave that you find, talk to Jared. Talk to Jared. Okay? Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. I'm just the narrator. Don't talk to Susie. She's busy writing in her fucking diary. What does she know about berries? In a cave especially. She may eat berries in her free time at home with her mom while watching, like, soap operas. But not in a cave. Talk to Jared. Talk to Jared. By this point, the fat kid has already died. So you're down to 3. You venture into the cave. It's dark. Very dark. A bead of sweat runs down your cheek. Almost like a tear, yet not quite the same. It's different. It's cold. In fact, it's very cold. Eerily cold. As if something's watching you. Something vicious. A noise. You look to your right. A barracuda. What's a barracuda doing out of water? Aren't those fish? Susie says, yes, they are fish. And you say, are we underwater? You are. You have unknowingly submerged yourself completely in 20 feet of completely crystal clear water at the exact same temperature as your skin. The water is bubbling. Oxygen fills your lungs. You are able to breathe. And the barracuda speaks to you. It says to you, hello. Welcome to my domain. Hope you don't mind the fire and brimstone. You say, what fire and brimstone? He says, this fire and brimstone. Fire and brimstone rains down from the cave ceiling, burning and incinerating, evaporating the water. The barracuda disappears. It was a spirit. The entire thing was a dream. You wake up. You're still in the cave. The fat kid is still alive. Everything is well. Or so it seems. Or so it seems. You look to your right. Susie is crying. Crying like a baby. You say to yourself, why is Susie such a whiny bitch? Why can't she keep her composure in a situation like this? We've just entered the cave and all had an extremely terrifying vision. Yet this bitch can't keep her mouth or her eyes shut. No. But Jared, being the man that he is and on the ready, gives her some berries from the cave. He says, eat these. Eat these. They'll make your tummy pains go away and all the things in your head disappear. Well, it turns out that those berries were actually mushrooms, hallucinogenic mushrooms. Susie is tripping balls at this point, but you're descending deeper into the cave. You don't give a fuck, because this is your adventure, not theirs, and you're the one dictating the action, you dog. So, as we continue down the cave, you're wondering to yourself, how am I going to get out? I mean, you've left a trail of breadcrumbs, but you know that birds and bats eat breadcrumbs. Suddenly a noise. Again, the same noise, the same eerie, screeching noise that you heard before, nails on a chalkboard to you, but in fact the noise is rather pleasant to most people. It's the sound of a carousel, but you're not sure what a carousel is doing in a cave. I mean, after all, they don't build cave carousels very often, unless the dwarves exist. Do they exist? Indeed they do. As you venture down further in the cave, you see a short man. He smiles. A very friendly smile. You're not terrified at all. You approach the man and you shake his hand. He gives you a cake. You eat the cake. The cake is scrumptious. Vanilla with a chocolate icing. You look at the man, he has a mole on each side of his face, making an octangular pattern, just like this, around his face. The bald patch in his hair reminds you of your father, who has passed. I mean, this is why you've journeyed into the cave in the first place. Your father always wanted you to go caving, and you always said no. Well, you regret that, don't you? I do. I do. But that doesn't matter now. The dwarf in front of you is offering you to take you to the city, and you can't contain yourself. Hardly have you seen such a marvelous man in your life. I mean, his hair is red like fire, and his hands and his arms are burly and almost made of stone. Almost. You proceed into the cave. It opens up into a grand antechamber. Buildings everywhere, made of the finest gemstones and carved by the best architects that you could imagine. This is the dwarf city that you've imagined in your dreams, and indeed the ones you've written about, and the ones that Susie, that stupid 6'2" bitch, has written about in her diary for years. It is everyone's dream come true, but a dream it turns out being... That was a weird syntax. It turns out to be a dream. You wake up again. You're so disappointed. Why? Why? You ask yourself, do I keep having these hallucinations? Hallucinations. You bastard. You forgot that you were the one who ate the shrooms. You've been tripping in this cave by yourself for days. Days upon days. You wake up, you are now sober, or so you think. I mean, you hope so. Time out. For references of the story, you actually are sober, but... Oh, that kind of ruins it. Time back in. You're sober. You're sober. You go back home. You lie in your bed. It is a new day. You wake up and you smell fresh eggs broiling. Your mother's eggs. Salt and pepper and paprika if you're lucky. Your dog is barking, and your sister, Susie, she's only 2'6", she's only 3 years old. She's still being a stupid bitch, but you don't mind because she is your sister. You go downstairs and you eat the eggs. But silly mother, she didn't cook the eggs good enough, so within a month you're dead. Bacteria eats away your insides. It's a sad way to die. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the tale. Have a good day.